What's up guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Zax and this is Club United. To be honest, it's all just been a very overwhelming week for Manchester United fans. Just a lot to take in. First of all, losing 4-1 to Watford and the immediate sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I know to the most of you it didn't come as a surprise, especially with the set of results we've been getting and the expectation coming into this game, playing a newly promoted Watford side. And it's honestly been the longest couple of hours, especially after we heard after the Saturday game, after the Watford game, that Manchester United board had engaged in an emergency meeting to discuss the future of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, it was just a waiting game until Sunday it was officially announced that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had been sacked. But before we break it down, as we usually do, please like, share and subscribe to the official YouTube channel, Club United. So what really went wrong for Solskjaer? He's preparing for a Watford game. He has to win. No disrespect to Watford, but we're talking about a relegation side in the Premier League. So he's going into this game, he has to win. He has to get that 3 points. He has to get back to winning ways. He has to take some of those gambles because there's just so much pressure going into this game. And from the formation, I saw that he had a back four. No surprise there. Back five when you consider De Gea as part of that defensive whole unit. And he's just trying to hold everything back. Then you have Matic. Quite a surprise, Fred was unavailable after serving for the international duty, so he just needed a bit more time to recover. And then you had Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right. Sancho was the surprise. He finally gave him a start. It's not his first start for Manchester United, but finally maybe he can actually make an impact going into this game. But from the starting whistle, we don't look in control of the game. Bruno Fernandes makes a mess of a Luke Shaw throw-in pass and just whips the ball. Scott McTominay is forced to get that tackle in the box. So early into the game, David has to step up, saves twice, and you saw moments where we're actually exposed. A lot of space is left, and Watford were actually good counter-attacking, very swift when they're getting the ball on that offense. And quite a crazy thing to see, to be honest, because we're playing a game where we expect Manchester United to be dominant and just playing in a very comfortable way. A couple moments of brilliance, I have to say. Sancho getting a good cross. We saw him quite a good display. A couple of good chances, a couple of good shots from the right side. He gets a good shot, good positioning from Cristiano Ronaldo, but can't really get an angle on it. So Donny van der Berg is perfect, right positioning. He gets the ball. So now you're thinking maybe we might come back. But it's sad, that we have conceded goals, but you're not really certain anymore. But this is still in the first half. Fast forward, Harry Maguire, 2 red cards within just a space of 10 minutes. So, in today's video, to be honest, I don't really want to go into the details of how I actually went about this game. Because to be honest, the brutal truth is we lost to Watford, No disrespect to Watford, but we just had to win, we just had to dominate. We had to play our most comfortable football. But we just got into that game and it was such a mess. And obviously this is what led to the immediate sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But today's video, to be honest, I just want to focus more on what exactly happened with this plan, with this project. Because the way we're playing, there hasn't been a game this season that has been more evident that the players are not behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They're not behind the coach, they're not behind this project. Harry Maguire, he gets that red card. It's a big risk, by the way, the way he tackled. He's on a yellow card, but he gets another tackle, immediately flagged for a red card, and he tosses his armband, so there's a lot of, there's a bit of I don't care, to be honest. I know some might say I'm being a bit too nitpicky, like I'm being hard on him, but he tosses his armband, doesn't really care, it didn't really get to him. He walks over to the, as he's leaving, as he's exiting the stands, Solskjaer, actually high-fives him. This has been his main man. This has been his most trusted captain, his most trusted player. I remember last year, there was a stat I was reading, last season in fact, there's a stat I was reading where it says Harry Maguire has played the most minutes since just before that time last season where he got injured, just before the last games of the season, just 5 games before the end of the season. I think a few games, or the game just before Liverpool, where, it read Harry Maguire has played the most minutes compared to any other player in Europe, within the top 5 leagues. So he was the main man, week in, week out. It didn't matter what competition, the Premier League, the Champions League, Harry Maguire was your guy. always working, always slaving for those balls, aggressive, and it's got to a point where now Ole is in a position where, or was in a position where, his most trusted lieutenants are not behind him. His most trusted players are not serving him. They're not working for him. Harry Maguire is not even the only case. Wan-Bissaka, Wan-Bissaka this season things haven't been going his way. In the transfer season, we actually had some discussions where, there was a couple of options that, they were rumored to Manchester United to be seeking a right back to create maybe a bit of more competition for Wan-Bissaka. If we had actually managed to get a right back, I didn't see it as a priority, but now I'm really thinking, man, we really should have gotten someone to challenge Wan-Bissaka, because now he's looking, he's not working as the person that we know he can be. Those one-on-one where he's been labeled as the best one-on-one defender in the league, we don't really see him getting in those one-on-one duels. The final passes is not really there. You can say the same thing about Luke Shaw. Incredible performance at the Euros, at the Summers. The best defender of the tournament by far. He's coming in this side. He's lazy. His defensive duties are just awful. And the same thing can be said about Bruno Fernandes. Paul Pogba, Fred. These are guys who always heavily relied on, but all of a sudden, they aren't part of him. They don't believe in him anymore. And it's one of those things that you really can't come back from. We've seen this many times in football where, once fans start sort of boycotting the coach or, not really believing him anymore, it's very, very difficult to actually get back to instilling that belief and actually get back to winning ways. So, I can imagine what was said in that meeting, but obviously one of the most highlighted things was probably that I don't think there's still a chance here with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The players don't believe in his project. Capable players, which is crazy, because last season we finished number 2. Very, very capable players are just playing, the performance are just far from acceptable, And, call me crazy, but Ole has been sacked by his players, if you really want to look at it. Not to say his players entirely. Also, we've seen that with the demands of this season, obviously coming this season, the demands were much higher, the ambitions, the board, the fans, everyone is just demanding more. We finally get to challenge for the title. We finally, get to progress in the Champions League, win the FA Cup, and actually get back to winning ways, because this project has been cooking for a while. But the problem is, he has been choosing the same squad. Sometimes we have players that a lot of people have debated, are these guys supposed to be in the starting 11? But he has been stubborn at times, in fact, for the most times, with people that he's chosen, people that he's believed in. So a lot has to do with the fact that it's how he approached, every single game, the unwillingness to change and just believe that maybe it actually change. Some, will say Cristiano Ronaldo coming into the squad was a huge thing, and I'll agree to a certain extent, because when you get someone like Cristiano Ronaldo and the way that he came in, we didn't really plan for Cristiano Ronaldo coming back, and as a last-minute deal, because Manchester United were rumored to be interested in signing Cristiano Ronaldo, and Manchester United obviously couldn't let that happen. So if Cristiano Ronaldo coming back to the club, and some will say it takes a special, or Ole wasn't really the man capable enough to actually integrate Cristiano Ronaldo into our starting 11 or into our system, because he is a player who's who's been successful, arguably the best player of our generation, and is coming in, as the prodigal son. Pretty much, he's back, he's excited, fans are expecting him to be the star that we know he can be, or he always has been. But the thing is now, his playing has changed. His running has changed. A lot of things about him have to change. So now we have to integrate him and put him well in a system that allows him to still get the best out of him, but at the same time not really change the way we've been playing, So maybe some will say that Ronaldo contributed a bit to the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but the reality is, he has been sacked largely to do with the performance that we've been getting. My main thing personally is his unwillingness to change, to adapt, and also the fact that, his most trusted players are not believing in anymore. So he's not the guy to take us forward. I have a comment here with me, from TK. So shout out to you, TK, for actually getting in touch. This is a comment left on the Manchester Derby video, and I have that video linked down in the description. The comment says, Ole has undoubtedly fulfilled his initial purpose, steadied the club, get fans believing again. Unfortunately, this club's ambitions have exposed his flaws as a manager. Thanks, Ole. And shout out to you, TK, again. This really sums it up, to be honest. he's done the work, so we can't really. He's used to go out as a legend. Personally, I feel like he deserves the respect. His initial purpose was to actually stay at the club, because when he came in as manager, we for 2 years consecutive, for 2 seasons, Manchester United were a top 4 team. That wasn't something that now it seems like it's a norm, but before him it wasn't. So now to actually get back in the top 4, it was a very, very good thing. So he did his initial purpose, stayed at the club, get fans believing again. From there, we need someone to take us over the line. We need a winner. We need someone. And now we hear conversations about Mauricio Pochettino being the favorite to come back. Zidane, there has been rumors, but rumors are he's not really interested in the Manchester United project. I don't know really why, but I don't really think you'd fit the United squad, to be honest, because when he were incredible coach, obviously, consecutive Champions League, no one has done it before. But I mean, with Zidane now, it's a point where when he stepped into that Real Madrid dressing room, that team was already the team, right? So it was a team that was gonna win anyway. So maybe there's a fear that Manchester United is too much of a fixer-upper, that it might actually take him time to actually get back to winning ways. So, the rumors are he's not interested in the project. He's turning it down. But Mauricio Pochettino, he's not really having although PSG is actually leading in France, he's not really having a good time there. So you'd actually love to be, manager at Old Trafford. So now I'm really interested. What do you think about, the prospect of a new coach, and who might be the best coach, and just a couple of things to touch on. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked, Harry Maguire, red card, so he's going to be out for a couple of games. We face Chelsea without Harry Maguire. Verane is still out, so, part of the starting 11, we are lacking some few key players. Maybe this will be good for Harry Maguire. There has been a couple of people, touching on his discipline. Maybe he hasn't been really. I wouldn't really want to go into a player's discipline, to be honest, because on the pitch I feel like when he gives 100%, he gives 100%, and when he doesn't, he doesn't. So discipline wise, I think he has been okay, but maybe when he comes back, this might be good for him. A bit of a rehabilitation, to be honest. He comes back fit, new manager. Michael Carrick is taking over as caretaker for now, but maybe a new atmosphere for him to breathe and just really take possession, take control as the captain, as he should, and so a lot of things to digest. We face Chelsea, high-flying Chelsea. Lukaku might be back. Are we gonna win? Villarreal, some upcoming games that really might shape the season for us. And so what I really want to know for you guys, the prospect of having a new coach, which candidate do you think best suits Manchester United, our DNA, our beliefs, someone who actually get us over the line. But on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't think his legend status in Manchester United will be tarnished. He stayed at the club, he's done the job, but unfortunately getting us over the line, he's not the guy who's really going to be getting us over the line. So I totally agree with that decision. Salute him, incredible guy, incredible coach. Cristiano Ronaldo went on Twitter, he wrote, when he started playing in Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a striker. He came back at the club. Now, he's his coach. So, a lot of emotion there. So I don't know. What do you think about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacking? And do you think that him being sacked by Manchester United, we have to do will tarnish his image? But I personally don't think he should. He should be respected. He's done the job. But for now, we need someone who can instill belief into our dressing room and actually get back to winning ways. So please link me up in the comment section below. This is Club United. Check you out in the next video. Peace.